WCBI News at 10 starts now.
The City of Macon's Police Department is now under new leadership. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Quentin Smith. In a move that took many by surprise, the Board of Aldermen voted to reassign Chief Lucius Mason to patrol status effective immediately. They also promoted Assistant Chief Divine Beck to interim chief. Mayor Bob Boykin says he was not in favor of this decision. The way your child's public school is funded could soon be changing. A funding formula rewrite is still in play at the state capitol. The House passed a 350-page bill that detailed the proposal to rewrite the school funding formula. Now senators are speaking up about concerns as it awaits action in the Senate. Courtney Ann Jackson has the latest.
Senator Hob Bryan is one of the authors of the current education funding formula and says there hasn't been enough information given for lawmakers to make an educated decision about rewriting the K-12 funding formula.
The prudent thing to do is to stop the madness, stop trying to pass something that nobody understands, and let's start all over again with an open process.
Senate Education Chairman Gray Tollison argues the EdBuild recommendation is available online for anyone to view.
This report has been available for a year, and if somebody wanted to sit down and talk to me about particular parts of it, I'm certainly available to do that.
Now, exactly how the money would shake out over the next few years with the new formula depends on whose calculations you view and what measuring stick they use. Senator Bryan's calculations take MAEP and increase it by 1% each year.
The public schools will be $300 million worse off than they are under the existing formula.
Still, proponents like Tollison say schools are expected to get more.
We have a plan that they are getting more than what they received in the past year. So, as I said, they're relying on numbers that they're making up and making estimates about. We have real numbers that we have in the legislation.
The new formula calls for a $107 million increase in spending over the next 7 years. Some Democrats have questioned where that money will be generated.
Now, the Senate still has 2 weeks to get the bill passed out of committee. We'll continue to keep you updated as it moves throughout the legislative process. Mississippi's capital city is reducing penalties for people who are caught with small amounts of marijuana. The Jackson City Council approved plans to decriminalize possession of 30 grams or less of dope. Jail time will be prohibited and fines will also be reduced to $100. The changes will take effect in 1 month. State law sets allows for up to 3 years in prison and a $3,000 fine for possession of 30 grams or less of marijuana. Now, it wasn't immediately clear whether Mississippi cities are allowed to set smaller penalties for drug possession. And it's now time to get a first look at our weather. And for that, we'll send things over to Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson, who's standing by with more. Keith?
Hey, Quentin, right now most of our area is dry. We do have some showers, however. Look at this, out towards Oxford and northwest Mississippi over into the northern delta. This activity is lifting off to the northeast. Some additional showers down to the southwest, also coming to the northeast. So we do have the opportunity for a little bit of rain as we go throughout the overnight hours. We're in the 50s now, back into the mid to upper 60s on Wednesday, your Valentine's Day. The best chance of rain tomorrow, though, looks to be north of Columbus. We all may see a shower, though. The full forecast in just a few minutes.
Thanks so much, Keith. A situation in Lowndes County where a man allegedly fired shots into the ground near a volunteer fireman has some departments thinking about security. With volunteers having no means or training to defend themselves in those situations, what's their move? Our Parker King speaks with firefighters and law enforcement to find out how they plan for such situations.
Volunteer firefighters are an important asset to communities.
They're responding in their own vehicles on their own time. A lot of times leaving their paying jobs to go out and try to help the members of the community.
Something they aren't trained in is responding to what many think can't happen to a firefighter. Gunfire.
To my knowledge, there is no training in self-defense for firefighters, and it's sad that that's possibly the world we're heading into.
Normally, that training isn't needed. In small communities, law enforcement is there to help get the scene under control.
We want to be there for our firefighters in case something like this happens. You know, we have had firefighters assaulted on calls in the county before, you know, physically assaulted by someone for whatever reason.
Winston County Fire Coordinator Jody Garrett says his advice for fire personnel is to use their heads.
I tell our firemen a lot of times, common sense goes a long way with anything. Something don't look right, something don't feel right. back up the street, call it in, wait for the fire truck to get there, call law enforcement. Don't get yourself in a bind.
In Winston County's case, several of the county's volunteers are also part-time officers and deputies.
We're kind of blessed here in the county because we have so many different law enforcement that is on our fire department.
We have several that kind of wear both hats.
But if an already dangerous situation becomes more dangerous for volunteers, departments might need to make some upgrades in gear.
Companies contact me almost every day wanting to sell our fire department's body armor, and it may be something we have to think about.
There are a lot of avenues that this may go down, and I can see the body armor becoming something that's issued to a firefighter.
That was our Parker King reporting there. Now, departments like Jackson already have protective vests for their firefighters. Students at Itawamba Community College came together tonight to remember a friend and a classmate. Hundreds of people gathered for a prayer vigil in honor of Zion Ford. The Caledonia native passed away over the weekend. He played football for ICC and just finished up his freshman season. Friends say they remember Ford for being an outgoing person who was well respected and well liked by many of his peers.
It was obvious he had made a huge impact, both as a player, but also as an individual. And that's what I hear all over campus. Faculty coming in and talking about the quality student he was, the excitement that he always showed, the fact that yet he was somewhat reserved, but also full of life. It's really, really unique to see.
Not only was he a football teammate, he was a brother to us. One of the guys that you always look forward to see him during workouts during the day. He always made your day better with the dancing and the jokes, and just being around him just really made your day better.
Ford played football for 3 seasons at Caledonia High School before signing with ICC in 2017.
We have some low clouds and fog across our region right now. Not a lot of moisture in the near term, or at least in the immediate area. Some showers trying to build on in. We showed you that. We'll show you a little bit more coming up. But look at these temperatures for tomorrow. 60s and 70s across the region. Pretty warm. Full forecast is next.
Our first alert forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Showers coming on into the region right now. 10-12 on our Tuesday, Fat Tuesday. Wow, we have some showers coming on in this evening. You can see out towards Pontotoc and New Albany, perhaps a little bit of light rain. The heavier rain out towards Holly Springs and Olive Branch, Senatobia there in northwestern parts of Mississippi. That batch is moving to the northeast, so that for the most part is going to just miss our area. That's where the heaviest rain is. Some additional showers down here in and around Jackson, back to the west in Louisiana and Arkansas too. That is all lifting to the northeast, so we will all have the chance for a little bit of rain tonight and for tomorrow. We've got upper 40s to low and mid 50s across our region, much warmer off to our south, and that warmer weather is coming our way for tomorrow. In addition to a lot of additional moisture in the atmosphere too, we are really going to moisten things up. Now, we won't see a lot of heavy rain this go round like we've had over the last week, but it will feel a little bit muggier, a little bit more spring-like. Today, there's our Alpha Insurance time lapse from Vernon, a lot of cloud cover, and then a nice little taste of sun just at sunset. Here's our planner for Wednesday. We're looking at 58 degrees at 8 o'clock, scattered showers, 64 by noon, 68 at 3 o'clock, winds from the south at about 5 to 15 miles per hour. I still think the best chance for showers will be up here across northeast Mississippi, near Tupelo and the Tennessee state line, but it will be mild. Farther south, we still have an opportunity for some rain, but probably not as concentrated if we do see it. Upper 60s to low 70s here. And for you in West Alabama as well, we're looking at some mid to upper 60s with a lower chance of rain tomorrow, but still an opportunity for a little bit of moisture out there. 60s around here, 70s again just off to our south, pushing 80 in New Orleans tomorrow. And by Thursday around here, some spots could be pushing 80 degrees. A pretty big warm up here for Thursday. It's not going to last forever though, because we will have a front move through on Friday morning. Behind it, it will be cooler for Friday afternoon and for Saturday, but we will springboard back into the 70s in the mild air for a good chunk of next week. Here's tomorrow afternoon, the better chance of showers again to the northwest. We all may see a little bit of rain. A lot of cloud cover though, even into Thursday too. A lot of cloud cover here, but southerly breezes warming things up. There's the front right there. Here it comes Friday morning, a chance for some showers, and then a little bit cooler as we get into the first half of the weekend. But as I mentioned, that cooler weather is not going to be lasting. We'll have a little taste Saturday, but back into the 70s next week.
Flower shops all over the area are gearing up for the single biggest day of the year. I'm Victoria Bailey, and we take a look at preparations coming up.
Welcome back, everyone. The countdown is on to Valentine's Day, and flower and gift shops are working around the clock getting ready. It's considered to be one of the busiest times of year for them. Our Victoria Bailey went behind the counter to find out how they get ready for the big rush.
It's the Super Bowl of the florist. It's the craziest holiday of the year for us.
The feelings most flower and gift shop employees experience when that special time of year rolls around, Valentine's Day.
We have several thousands of roses. We have all kinds of fresh flowers and balloons, teddy bears that you can see all around me.
And we're making roses and arrangements as we speak. We're taking orders from people who come in, and we've got 2 phone lines running at the same time. So we're just steady, busy.
Noetta's Green Thumb floral designer Terry Connerly says to be sure they are ready for the big day is taking some doing.
We have been preparing since last week, ordering the flowers, preparing the flowers. We stayed here Saturday and Sunday, processing flowers, which I say is a process.
The National Retail Federation reports flowers as the top seller this holiday, saying we'll spend $2 billion on them this year. Flowers by the Bunch owner Monty King says with statistics like that, they have to have a plan of action.
Tonight, what we'll do is we'll fill every order that has been placed up to this point, and then we'll make arrangements so that when customers come in tomorrow, we'll have arrangements ready to be placed on the trucks. We've got 7 delivery drivers that'll be all over Starkville, Mississippi tomorrow, delivering Valentine's.
Now, if you're planning to buy bling, JP Jewelers owner Jamie Parkerson says it's important to shop early.
Yeah, you want to have a good variety of stuff, on hand, because, the men are going to wait till the last minute, and there's no time to special order and get that stuff in so, yeah, you got to have it on hand so they can get it and go.
Connerly says above all, the most important thing to remember about this holiday is
From tomorrow, you have 365 days to place your order, so place it early, and the sooner you do it, the better for us.
That was our Victoria Bailey reporting there. Now, the total price for Valentine's Day nationwide is $19 billion. Coming up, Ole Miss looks to snap their losing streak in men's hoops as they aim to send Andy Kennedy out in honor. Highlights coming up next in sports.
WCBI Sports with Robbie Donahoe.
The first public look inside the new Dude. Bulldog fans poured into Dudy Noble Stadium to meet the 2018 Diamond Dogs as a part of the annual Cowbell Yell. Fans will have to wait about a month to see live action inside the Dude. First home games being March 6th and 7th against New Mexico State. First pitch of the baseball season coming up this Friday. Mississippi State travels to Hattiesburg to take on Southern Miss in a regional rematch against the Golden Eagles. We'll have more with the Bulldogs leading up to that big series against USM coming up tomorrow and Thursday. Well, speaking of baseball, we were in Oxford for Ole Miss Baseball Media Day today. You can see our coverage from Swayze on our website at WCBI.com. Tonight, the Andy Kennedy Farewell Tour began with a home matchup against Arkansas. Ole Miss trying to send AK out with a winning record in his final season, but the head coach wanted a little more out of his team early tonight.
Balls, let's get out in the open floor, man. Let's hit them a little bit. They know they're kind of sleepwalking. We're sleepwalking. Let's go. Energy, man, energy.
Rebels started 3 for 3 from the field, and then they went cold. That's why you saw Andy Kennedy wanting a little more energy, getting dialed up and getting rolling. Well, that one was good there from Markel Crawford, but after that, it just went cold for Ole Miss. They could not get anything going. Arkansas ended the half on a 16-5 run as the Rebels trailed by 11 at the break. Second half, the halftime talk worked for whatever Andy Kennedy said in the locker room and seemed to really inspire Ole Miss. There's Markel Crawford inside for the basket plus the foul. A little bit later, you'd see DeAndre Burnett, who saw what Markel did, and he's like, okay, I can do that too. Coming in transition, down the lane, puts it up and in, plus the foul. You see that lead starting to dwindle. Rebels had it down to 2 after that. Then after a scramble, or Burnett shows he can knock down the 3, then Ole Miss would get it down to 2 with this triple right here. Then after a scramble underneath, Mark Canvas Hyman would have a one-hand flush right here. Rebels got the deficit down to 1, but they would be outscored 22-12 after that mark as Arkansas wins it 75-64. The Rebels have now dropped 6 straight. Afterwards, Andy Kennedy having trouble putting this loss in perspective.
But this was about Ole Miss. I have, obviously yesterday I tried to take about as big ownership as you can take. I'm the man here. I'm culpable for this. After watching our performance on Saturday, I thought, man, this is as bad as I've seen it in my 400 games until tonight. I apologize. I certainly did not want it to go out like this, certainly.
Switch gears to high school hoops. District tournament action tonight around the area. We were in Region 4 3A as Houston was facing Aberdeen early on. For Houston, Keyshawn Bynum finding Zacchaeus Virtus inside for the deuce. Hilltopper with the early lead, and then Bobby Townsend out to Keyshawn Bynum. That 3 goes. Houston's looking good. Aberdeen would try to answer, though. Terrence Rowe going to force the turnover, finding Bryson Franks up ahead for 2, but back would come Houston as Jalen Smith goes inside here to Uriah Shepard, who has that stick-to-itiveness, not giving up on the play, tips it back up and in as Houston wins it 56-44. This game just went final a little while ago, but the Toppers get the win over the Bulldogs in the late game. All right, continuing on with boys action from Nettleton. Hatley facing South Pontotoc, and early on for the Cougars, Brett Riley, big man working inside along the baseline for 2. Cougars have the early lead, then Hatley would answer. Chase McNeese finding Will Bishop in the corner. That 3 goes, but back would come the Cougars. Eddie Ivey comes up with a steal, and he's going to go coast to coast all the way to the other end with a nice right-hand finish. And then more from South Pontotoc. Eddie Ivey can find Malik Below inside, actually he's going to drive and finish with the left hand right here. South Pontotoc rolls over Hatley 65-22. Let's go to the ladies. South Pontotoc and Hatley going at it. We start with the Lady Cougars. Maddie Pilcher going to find Lexi Ward on the wing at 3 bottom. Lady Cougars have the early lead. Then Hatley would answer. Sydney Elkin going to find Emily Slade, who gets the bounce to go. Then more from the Lady Tigers. A former student athlete of the week, Carolina Edwards, going to drive, and she puts one between the legs. Nice finish right here, but South Pontotoc just a little too much in this one as Bill Russell's team looking good here. Abby Montgomery has the corner 3. South Pontotoc wins at 62-43 over Hatley. And then our last game, Choctaw County Nettleton, a good one in district tournament action. Early on for Nettleton, Macy McMillan going to find Palace Roby. Nice pass right there, gets the finish for 2. Lady Tigers have the early lead, but the Lady Chargers come right back. Brisa Maxwell shot blocked partially here, but LaGenesis Johnson always underneath getting that put back, and she gets it there. More from the Lady Chargers here off the turnover. Brisa Maxwell, she's going to go coast to coast. Great finish right here through contact as Choctaw County gets to win 52-35. Over Nettleton. Also want to mention Saltillo defeated Grenada 1-0 tonight in 5A boys soccer as the Tigers advance to the state championship to face Long Beach coming up this weekend. That's it for sports. We had the last look at your forecast next.
We have some showers coming out into northwest Mississippi. A little bit of light rain there from Tupelo back towards Memphis. All of us will have a chance for rain as we get into our Wednesday, Valentine's Day. But the best chance of rain will likely be north of Columbus. Pretty mild for the next 7 days, but temperatures will be a little bit cooler Friday afternoon and Saturday.
We got rain on Valentine's Day. That's the bad part, but warmer temperatures.
That's right.
I'll take it. Thanks so much for tuning in again with us. Hope you have a good night.